Welcome to episode 11 of the Lightning Round. I'm your host, Lightning.
And I'm your co-host, Crashy Dash.
And the Lightning Round is brought to you by Philly Games and their new game in production, Welcome to Ponyville. You can check out information for that at www.phillygames.com. A couple announcements for this week. We'll start talking about the interviews that we got coming up. This week we have our interview with Cyberspark and Paleo. They are the hosts of Brony Breakdown, and that'll be coming up in just a few minutes. Next week we have our interview with Rob Pickman 53, the writer of My Little Dashie. The week after that, we'll have our interview with Twilight Popple, one of the authors over on Fin Fiction. The following two dates, we've got, let's see here. If I'm not mistaken, we have Joe Stevens and Tech Rat from the Equestrian Inquirer that will be joining us the week after Everfree Northwest, and the week following that, we'll have Pony in a Box Productions in an interview with their team. So those two are brand new. So we got interviews all the way up through all of August now. So those will be really good. Next on the list, the voiced readings that I've been doing for Silent Ponyville will be premiering later this week. We'll have chapter 1 up hopefully within the next couple of days, and so keep an eye out for that one. And to end off the announcement section, we will be featuring art in the podcast from now on. It's been one of the things that have been missing from our podcast, and so during the ending song that we always have, we will also be posting pictures from the Draw Friends that have been out this week. So with that, we'll head into the interview. So first up this week, we have our interview for the week. It's Cyberspark and Paleo. They're the hosts of Brony Breakdown over on Everfree Radio.
Hello.
Hello.
So why don't you guys first tell us a little bit about yourselves and how you became Bronies?
All you Paleo.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go first. Basically, I wanted to start making videos on YouTube, and I sort of started doing it in June of last year, 2011. And around August, I came across some clips of Friendship is Magic. Mainly because I started looking up some YouTube poops because I was bored one weekend, and school hadn't started yet, so college hasn't started yet, and I was just bored, and I started seeing the YouTube poops use Friendship is Magic as a source quite a lot, and then I started seeing some clips of Party of One, and I was just like, what is this show? And I started watching it, and I usually give any show at least 3 episodes before I put a judgment on it. And, by the 3rd episode, I was like, okay, I can watch this. And then within the weekend, I watched the entirety of season 2, and I loved it. And then I started making videos on it, and, I couldn't stop thinking about it, so I just made more.
For me, how I got involved in the show, I'm kind of the same with Paleo. I, started watching it back in August, around this time, around last year. And I noticed it getting popular on My Little Brony. On Meme Base, which My Little Brony was there at the time. I was getting popular on YouTube, suggestion bar. I'm like, I want to get on the inside joke. I want to be part of this. Not as a brony, but I want to get the joke. So I started watching the episodes. Didn't like it at first, but then I gave it another chance, and I fell in love with it afterwards. And that's how I got involved. That's how it started for me.
All right. So, favorite pony and favorite episode. We'll start with Paleo again.
Okay, my favorite pony is Twilight, mainly because I see a lot of me in her, because she's like an egghead, but I don't really read as much as she does, but I read a lot of nonfiction. I usually see people reading, it's like, oh, you should read this book. It's like, I don't really want to, because I don't read fiction really. I read a lot of nonfiction, which is like biology books and whatnot. But yeah, I saw a lot of me and her, mainly her mentor relationship with Princess Celestia, because I sort of have one of those relationships with my professor, my biology professor. So I started, and around the same time, I started helping my professor with his salamander research. So I started seeing him as Princess Celestia and me as Twilight. So that's how that.
Oh, you didn't tell him that, did you?
Huh? Oh no, I didn't tell him that.
That was kind of weird. You're like my Princess Celestia. Okay. So is it my turn?
Yes.
I just totally went ADD blank. What was the question again?
Favorite pony?
Favorite pony. Okay, favorite pony. Favorite best pony's rarity. Favorite pony though is Fluttershy. I love Fluttershy because she's adorable. Throughout season 2, I really wasn't like, oh my god, I guess Rarity's my favorite pony now. And she went from being my best to my favorite and my best. But then they had Herc and Fluttershy. And Fluttershy always just steals my heart away with her adorableness and just being shy. So yeah, Fluttershy for me.
And how about favorite episode for you guys as well?
Oh, favorite episode. Currently I'm not sure what my favorite is out of both seasons, but I can answer it for each season. For the first season, it would have to be Green Isn't Your Color, because of just how much humor is packed into that episode. And also photo finish. And, for season 2, probably It's About Time, because of the interaction that Pinky and Twilight have in that episode. And those are my top 2, so I really love that one.
Favorite episode for me is either going to be the last roundup, which is just an overall entertaining episode, or Hurricane Fluttershy. That was an excellent episode as well. That was just very well done. Probably have to choose the last roundup, though.
So how did you guys end up meeting each other and end up working together?
Haley, you should answer that one because you're the one who contacted me first.
Yeah, I sent Saber a message back in December after I finished my long video, which is called Why My Little Pony Printer's Magic is So Good and Why You Should Give It a Chance. I gave it a long title because apparently that's a good way to get into searches. But yeah, I typed in I can't remember if I typed in my title or if I typed in something that was similar to my title in the YouTube search, and Saber's video came up, and I started watching it, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. And then as soon as the part where he does the Applejack impression, I just shut it off and just went on.
Oh,
to
it wasn't
my video.
it wasn't that bad. I know I don't have the best Applejack impersonation, but I don't think it was that bad. You make it sound like it was I wanted to, rip my ears off at that point, but I turned the video off instead.
But yeah, but mainly I did it so that way I wouldn't, think that, oh, I'm gonna do the same thing he is. So I just went on continuing editing my video and then, uploaded it. And then after that I watched the rest of Saber's video, and then I contacted him because I thought it was good, and very different from what I did. Since I talked a lot more about the show, and he talked a lot more about bronies and the fan base in general. And then we started talking for a few days, and pretty much instantly became best friends.
Yes, it took about a week, but then I started finding myself talking to him every single day, and I wasn't annoyed by it at all. I actually really enjoyed it and looked forward to it. And and then we met at BronyCon in person for the first time. And it wasn't even, there was no awkwardness. We went right to business, talking about our documentary we were working on and what we look forward to doing at the convention. It was just instant friendship. I guess there are times in life we meet a person, you just click so well with them, and Paleo was one of those people for me.
Alright, so Saber Spark, tell us about Ballad of the Brony.
Ballad of the Brony was a project for my sociology course, study of deviant subcultures. In August, around this time of last year, later August, early September, my teacher told the class, she said, you all need to go do a deviant act. And my first deviant act was to go buy a My Little Pony toy at Walmart, which I did that. I told the class that, and they all looked at me like, oh, you bought a My Little Pony toy, why? And I explained to them the Brony stuff, and they were all enthralled with what I was saying, including my teacher. And then my teacher later that class said we need to do a long project, a project at the end of the semester about a deviant subculture. I approached her and I said, can I do mine on bronies? And she goes, of course, I'd love that. So for the next 2 months, or 2.5 months, whatever, I worked my butt off on that project, and it was bigger than I ever would have dreamt it would be. And turned out it was over an hour-long video. I put it on YouTube, and the rest was history.
Was that the very first pony-related thing you ever did on YouTube?
That is correct. That was the first pony video I've ever made. That was kind of an icebreaker for me. I'd post clips on my YouTube channel of here's a sample of what I'm working on right now to my 20 subscribers that I had who probably weren't bronies and were like, what the heck is this? But then I posted it and gave it to Sephesto because I wanted to see if he'd want to put it on Equestria Daily. Because I thought at the time there was nobody else who made a video like this. This has to be the longest video at the Phantom as far as content goes for a documentary, and it was. So yeah, that's kind of how I got my foot in the door. It was my first and probably my greatest creation, until, I got my fingers crossed for this new documentary. I think it's going to blow my documentary out of the water.
All right. So, at the beginning of the year, you took over for the movie Brony and started doing the top 10 pony videos of the month. How did that happen?
Okay, well, I noticed on his YouTube channel, he made a channel post comment saying, I am taking a break from top 10. I need to concentrate on school. I need a replacement. And I jumped up at the occasion. I said, look, the movie Brony, I can do this. I have about 2,000 subscribers. At the time, he had about 3,000. And I was like, I got a small fan base following me. I think I love, representing bronies and talking about bronies. I want to get the world, I want to get bronies out and show it to the world. And he's like, okay, you're perfect. You're hired. And that was what kind of really got my jump of subscribers going up. Like, Battle of the Brony and all my other personal work might have merited about maybe 10,000 at the absolute most subscribers. But it was definitely the top 10 list that Movie Brony handed me that launched me forward. And I loved it. It was fun doing that. It was really entertaining to see what people liked and wanted for top 10, what they voted for. I enjoyed it.
So was it predetermined that he would eventually take back over making those videos? Like, you were only going to do it for a shorter period of time?
Yes, I fully will. I knew well and good that when he returned, it's going back to him. He is the original owner, and despite as much as I wanted to keep the series, I know that it would be very un-Brony-like to steal a series away from somebody who originally created it. So I give it back, no struggle, give it back to him willingly. But it also, Paleo mentioned doing the top 10 Brony songs, and I asked him if he wanted to do that idea himself, and he said, nah, it's all yours. So I asked Hephaestus, he said, sure, we'll make it into a series, and I started doing that instead.
So you decided after the top 10 pony videos of the month to start doing top 10 Brony songs of the month.
That is correct. I thought the music portion of fandom is huge. There's a lot of musicians, and people just love their songs and love their musicians. So I thought, you know what? Let's make a top 10 Brony songs of the month. There's so much we can cover, and Hephaestus liked the idea, and that's where it took off from there.
So, when did Brony Breakdown begin? How did that start?
Paleo, how about you answer that one?
All right. So, Saber had this idea after he, I think it was when he made the your year in review video. Was that what it was called?
Yeah, year in review.
Yeah, for 2011. And he mentioned that he was going to do like a podcast thing called Brony Breakdown at the end. He was going to cover all these things. And I was talking to him like, when you're going to start that project, because I'd like to be a co-host on that. And we didn't really start with it until probably late February. And we had been talking to some other bronies. Like we talked to Dusty Cat about being a guest on the show, since he was rising in popularity and so were we. So we thought we'd do an interview with him. And actually, the first interview we had with him was lost, right, Saber?
No, we still had it.
No, the very first interview we did. Remember your computer got interrupted?
Yes, yeah. It was lost. It was lost.
Yeah. And first we were just going to do like pre-recorded things where we would talk about news and content of the month. Not the month, but the week, and just pick out our favorites and stuff like that. And then Saber started doing the live stream on his channel, and he started getting a lot of viewers, and he thought that it would be really interesting to just do the podcast live on his channel. So we started doing that, and people liked it. So then Everfree Radio, Final Draft contacted Saber about doing it on Everfree Radio. And at first I was kind of cautious about it because I was like, what if we lose control of it? But it's been how many episodes so far? What, 8 on Everfree Radio? Or 9?
About
9. It's been 9 episodes on Everfree Radio. And, it doesn't feel any different, so.
Alright, anything more to add?
I think Paleo wrapped it up pretty darn good job explaining it.
He actually answered the next 2 questions, I guess, as well. When did you decide to add Go Time as a sideshow?
Ironically, Go Time was, technically was first. Like Paley was kind of saying, Day 9 inspired me to make my own live stream. He's a gamer, did StarCraft 2, and he was doing an Amnesia live stream. I saw how much fun he was having doing it. I thought, you know what, I'm gonna try it myself. So I made my own live stream. I cracked it open with Amnesia. I did a game series a couple of weekends long about me playing Amnesia. And when I was done, we had well over 100 viewers. I'm like, that's pretty good, considering this is a new live stream. And then I thought, oh my gosh, what if Paleo and I take Bernie Breakdown off of YouTube, and the pre-recordings, which were a hassle to do, and just do it all live? It'd be interactive, it'd be fun, let's do that. So, that's what we did. And, so Go Time technically was there before. I just gave it its official name after Bernie Breakdown. I'm like, okay, I should call my gaming stream something. Okay, let's call it Go Time.
So now, your podcast is on Everfree Radio every Thursday night at 10 p.m., 9 p.m. Central. But as for all your other live streams, do you do that whenever you feel like it, or is there a certain time you do those as well?
I want them to become more official and a bit more standard, where people can know when to expect them. Go Time, and the problem is that back when I lived in my apartment, I could have a bit more power over how loud I can be, when I can stream, but I live currently with my family, because I finished college, I'm trying to get back on my feet and find a place to live and just where to go next. So I can't, shout real loud and freak out while playing Slender. Instead I have to play quiet games, which aren't as entertaining to watch. So I want to make Go Time more official, where I stream it only on Saturdays or only on Fridays. Currently it's Fridays and Saturdays, but I might have to cut one of those days off towards just one. Every other stream is usually just me being bored and just streaming for funsies. So no, it's just either when I have free time and I feel up to it, well, yeah, that's about it. I just whenever I feel like it's appropriate to stream and when I'm bored enough to try to get people to be entertained with me.
Alright, this one's for Paleo. The top 7 series that you started, can we expect more of that in the future?
Yeah, I want to make more. Like, I wrote down, like, a whole lot of different ones I could do. But, I really have to be inspired to make a video, because, like, I did the top 7 emotional moments, like, I woke up and I was like, I'm gonna do a video today. And I just, like, wrote it all out and then recorded it and then put it all together. And I guess it's just, I don't know, I don't like to force a video out of myself. And like if I write it and then I start seeing that I'm saying like the same stuff over and over again, I was like, okay, today's not a good day. And but I do have some other ideas. Like I think that actually like Levels, I was talking to him earlier. He asked me, weren't you going to do a video today? He's like, yeah. But, I think the next one I would probably do is the top 7 morals. I think that'd be pretty interesting.
That'd be a good one to watch, actually.
Yeah. I'd probably include both seasons for that one. So, I'll definitely do more. I just need to, have the inspiration to do them.
You also had episode reviews that you did for season 2, and are you planning to do those for season 3 as well?
Yeah. That's sort of why I'm like, I was hoping that it was going to be August when the season started, because that's usually like where I get a lot of my my viewership from, is from the video reviews that I did. Because I started doing that because I saw nobody else was doing it, so I was like, I'll do it. And I started off really, really bad, and I started seeing myself and I guess, yeah, I'll definitely be doing them for season 3 and continuing seasons. So yeah. And I saw like the CR started to do, some episode reviews, and he just did them of like, episodes he wanted to review, and his are really good. But even if like other people are going to do reviews, I'm still going to do mine.
And like, are you going to include Saberspark in those as well, or is that strictly your episode reviews that you're going to do?
Those belong to Paleo. Those. I mean, the cool thing about Paleo and myself is that we kind of have our own thing. Like, I think I wouldn't mind getting Paleo to come by and do a My 2 Bits where he actually is academic, and I might play some like fancy like harpsichord music in the background where he explains an episode, and I'd be like, "Fuck that!" Just kind of screaming out. And be like,
we should do that for the opening of season 3.
Oh, that'd be pretty funny. I would love that. I would absolutely love that. We'll do little mini things like that where we just joke around. But as far as bread and butter goes, those are Paleo's videos, and I mean, a guest appearance is probably the most I'll ever do.
Alright, so Saberspark, you had a series called How to Brony. Any more planned for that?
Yes, I do. I want to do a How to Brony dealing with parents. It's going to be How to Brony Parents versus Ponies. And I got to get a title card first off from my friend Newman, who's my artist guy. But he's currently making another title card for me, plus a banner, so I don't want to overload him. Not to mention that those How to Brony videos, that takes about 3 days to write, to film, to record, then to edit, so that they take time. And Halo said before, sometimes you need inspiration. That's how I operate. I make my best videos when I'm inspired, or just really want to make something. Like my Top 25 Bronies video, that was inspired. Battle of the Brony that was inspiration, a lot of it. You just have to have the passion. If you don't have it, then there's really no point in doing it because you're forcing it. How to Brony Ponies, Parents versus Ponies, or Bronies. Parents versus Ponies. I want to get it out before Everything Northwest, so we'll see what happens.
You also mentioned your My Two Bits review series. How did you end up starting with that?
I started with that. I just finished an exam I did really bad on back in college, my last semester. And I was filled up with a lot of tension and just wanted to scream. And I took the episode, Hurricane Fluttershy, and I thought back to Iron Will in the other episode and how he shouted real loud. I thought, let's put the two together, and I'm just going to shout, scream this episode and do an episode review like that. And I did it, and it was good enough to get posted on My Little Brony, and I decided to turn into a series. So that's how it kind of started.
Okay, so tell us about your experience at BronyCon.
Paleo, fire away.
Okay, so, well, the drive up there was kind of, because, my dad and I drove up there, and it was like, as soon as we got to Maryland, we were kind of like stop and go, like all the way across Maryland, and then we stopped in Baltimore for the night, because we left on Thursday, and we were gonna like stop halfway and everything. But we got to Baltimore, and then we went the rest of the way on Friday, and Saber was already there, because he flew.
Yeah.
But yeah, we arrived there at the hotel, and then we went and saw Saber and his dad, and basically we just started chatting, and like we just got right down to business of talking about what we were gonna do. Because on Friday it was kind of like just getting things ready and everything, because we were just like finding a good place to film the interviews that we were going to do, which was actually a real hassle on Friday, because we were planning on doing it in the Holiday Inn in the lobby, but they wouldn't let us. So we just like went around different places asking if they could like let us film there. And there was actually one cafe place that said they would let us. But eventually we decided on like just doing it in the hotel room because it's quieter and we didn't have any distractions. But yeah, and then we met all the bronies and everybody, and we actually stood in when we went to go get our registration or our badges. We stood in line with Omnipony and Solrak, which was very surprising. I didn't expect to see like somebody I already knew so instantly. That was really, really exciting for me, because I was filming with our camera. And Omnipony went in front of the camera and says, "Hey, Omnipony here," and I was like, "Oh my god!" And then Solrak was behind him, and then Omni's dad, which Omni's dad is really cool.
Omni's dad was one of the coolest guys I ever met. He was amazingly cool. And Omnivore's parents were there too. Well, along with his dad, his mother was there. His dad's name is Brony Bronx. He's a Brony himself. Not like a diehard Brony. I think he does it more for his son, which is really awesome. And then his mom's name is Omni Momni, which is just amazingly cool too. But yeah, there's some really good people. I love them. I love talking to them.
So, who did you all meet there? With your interviews and stuff.
We met a lot of people.
Yeah.
A lot. We met like almost 20 people. A better question might be, who didn't we meet?
Yeah, who didn't we meet?
I mean,
you know who we didn't meet who's on our team?
Who?
Fuzogs.
He's gonna be at Everything Northwest.
Yeah, we got to meet him.
Yes, we do. Yeah, Fuzog we didn't meet. Who we met?
Was Sim Gratina there?
I don't know. Sim Gratina, I don't think he was. I think it was Tombstone was giving him a shout out because he lives in Germany, I believe.
No, he lives in Finland.
Or Finland, he lives somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of Finland, we had lunch with Brony Fine. That was fun.
Brony Fine was funny because he'd show up in random places. Like, We'd be like, oh, there's Brony Fights sitting there at the bus stop. Oh, there's Brony Fights sitting on top of the bus now. There's Brony Fights sitting on top of a bridge. You know, he just randomly appeared out of nowhere. That's how
Sorak, too. He was all around the place.
Yes, Sorak, he was great to me. He's a nice guy. Got a big heart.
And was it also the first time that you had met, like, other Everfree Radio hosts, like
Joe Stevens and Dusty Cat, those guys?
Rat and Dusty Cat, stuff like that?
Yeah, that was the first time I ever met them. It was great meeting Dusty. It was great meeting Joe. It was great meeting Final Draft. It was great meeting Tech Rat. It was great meeting them all. The entire EFR crew. Very nice people. Loved them all. Big
yeah, they were working really hard the whole weekend.
Yes, incredibly hard.
So you mentioned Everfree Northwest. Is there any other conventions you'll be at this year?
Paleo will be going to the Bernie Fanfare Convention to make an appearance. I unfortunately will not be able to make it to the occasion, just due to real life, and I gotta buckle down.
But yeah, other than that, we'll both be at Everfree.
I would love to make it to Equestria LA. That way I could be like, I've been to New York, Seattle, and LA in one summer period.
Yeah,
which
well, 1 year.
1 year.
Because it is in November, so maybe we can, I don't know.
I mean, I'd have to pay for it and everything, which I can do that because I have a job. But we'll see what happens. I don't know. We'll see.
All right, so tell us about your new project, the Brony Chronicles, and how did that all get started?
Paleo needs to start it off because he was the one who made it possible in a lot of ways.
Okay, so one thing I asked Saber about doing when we started talking is that we should collaborate on something this summer, like a big project. And, basically, taking Battle of the Brony and my video and, combining them. And, it started off simple enough where we just pretty much were going to do that and just make it better. And, then I got the idea to interview, Bronies, just like webcam interviews with, what AC Race does on Bronies React. That's where I got the idea. Because I was like, oh, why didn't I think of that? And, then, Saber said that he already had his, ticket to BronyCon. And I was like, you know what? We should do interviews at BronyCon. And pretty much, I just was trying to figure out, how are we gonna pay for all this? So I decided to get up a Kickstarter. And, at first I was kind of, cautious about it. I already said cautious. Use a different word. Anyway.
Meh. You're a meh about it. Meh.
Yeah. And, but So Great and Powerful is somebody that I talk to a lot. I started talking to him once he, followed me on YouTube and Tumblr, and I was like, why is he following me? So I asked him, to talk on Skype, and we talk about the fandom and everything, till 5 in the morning. And, so I asked him about what we should do, and he said do it. He's like, you need to do this. So I said, okay. So pretty much he pushed me to make that, and I guess he was right because people were really excited about it.
Very much so excited. I will go ahead and say right now I was very, not against the idea, but very this isn't going to happen. We're asking for too much money. We're not going to get this much money.
And then John Delancey.
And then John Delancey had to be he must have visited our Kickstarter and be like, ooh, I make my own documentary. But no, John's a great guy. I'm glad that the MLP staff is doing their own doc, but, I was what's the word I'm looking for? I didn't think we could do it. But then I noticed that we were about almost at the halfway point in, I forget, which month was it? Was it May that we were doing this and we needed,
yeah.
Yeah, it was in May, and I was like, okay, I guess, we're getting close. We might as well just keep going and see if we can do this and actually go all the way. And I asked my YouTube channel, I'm like, guys, we're doing this project. If you want to support us, please do. We'll we need it. And floodgates opened up, and people sent us thousands of dollars to help us out, and we overshot our goal by a couple of thousands, which really helped out because that money was utilized in great ways for us to get what we needed. So we actually didn't ask for enough, but people were were very grateful and helped us out regardless. So, yeah, that's how the project started off. Paleo had the idea and made it happen with the Kickstarter, and I try to back it up with my supporters, with asking my YouTube channel, and bam, that's how it happened.
And what do you guys think about for a release date for that?
I think we're looking at maybe early October, hopefully.
Yeah.
Because right
September
now,
at the earliest, but somewhere early, mid-October, probably.
Because right now we have a lot of things going on. I don't want to reveal too much, but we have a lot of people helping us make original songs, people doing, not animations, but visuals for us. And, well, we're just kind of, we haven't really put our noses to the grindstone yet, but it's going to get to that point very soon. After Free Northwest is over, it's going to be nonstop.
So, Paleo, tell us about the other channels you have besides your main one.
Yeah, I don't have much on those right now, but, I've been, I put up a video about a week ago, I think, or sometime, featuring my other channels that I made. I actually made, the, Paleo Travels channel a while back, like, even before I became a brony. I think. I can't remember. Anyway, yeah, I made that channel, and basically I just made that for when I go to, like, zoos and aquariums or out in, camping and whatnot. And I actually have a ton of footage that I need to upload to that channel, so there'll probably be a flood someday of footage uploaded to that. And then, like when I went to SeaWorld a lot when I lived out in California with my mom. But, the other channel, Paleo Plays, basically I started doing a gaming live stream since I have a new computer now, so, I started doing some, like, gaming things, even though, like, the first couple of videos I did, like, Ice Sketch with my friend Hirasashi, and, I did Lost Saga, which is a game that not many people know about. And then, though recently I did another live stream of Aquaria that's on Steam, an indie game where you're like a merfolk person, and I thought it was appropriate for like the first serious live stream I would do.
So, your OCs that you have on your Brony Breakdown like title card, who ended up drawing those?
That honor belongs to, well, actually, I mean,
Yeah,
I made Pony Lancelot made mine first, but well, actually,
wait, no, did Newman do yours?
No,
yours
Newman
first?
did mine first.
Yeah.
I came up with
Lancelot did mine first.
Pony Creator. I did mine on Pony Creator. Just made it for funsies, and then I did my Amnesia live stream, and then my friend Newman made fan art of my character, and that's how it began for me.
Yeah. Yeah, the same thing I made in Pony Creator, and then Sir Pony Lancelot is somebody who's been with me since November of last year, making vectors for me because he likes my videos, so he figured he'd make some vectors for me to use. So once he saw that I made an OC, he said, "I'm gonna make some vectors of your OC." I was like, "Oh, okay." So yeah, it's mainly Lancelot that makes a lot of my art.
And how did you guys come up with Cutie Mark?
I don't have a cutie mark. I'm a blank flank.
Yeah.
I don't know what my special talent is. I'm still looking for it in this world. So at the moment, I'm a blank flank. I'm going to have to wait it out.
Yeah, and mine is dolphins, because dolphins.
Because dolphins.
Because dolphins. But no, but yeah, I have a big interest in dolphins. But though lately ponies have been taking over everything. So I'm sure that if I visited, or if I lived near, like a place that had cetaceans, or if I lived closer to the ocean, I'd probably be more involved with that interest. I still have a ton of dolphin stuff. Like my room is covered in dolphin posters and figurines and whatnot.
So, what are your plans after the documentary?
It's a good question. For me, the documentary is probably will be my biggest and last hurrah. I don't think there's going to be any way we can ever top that again. Just from donations to conventions happening at the perfect time to just the growth in the fandom. We'll never have a better time to work with what we got ever again. So I'm going to continue my series. I'm planning on putting more emphasis on my gaming series. But, yeah, just keep being a brony. Just keep talking about it and having fun.
Yeah, after the documentary, I'll keep doing my reviews and everything. And, I might go into, like, other cartoons. Mainly just focused on, Princess Magic because of the documentary. But, I had this idea for another series where I would talk about, different cartoons that I really like, and just talking about, like, why they're so good. And, but yeah, I'd hope to go to some more conventions. I'm hoping next year we can go to BronyCon and Free Northwest again, and, like, just be there to be there.
That's about all we got, so, any, final thoughts or, shout-outs that you guys want to do?
I think that's about it for me, too. I mean, this has been a very lovely interview, and it's been nice talking to you. to your lightning, so thank you.
Well, thank you guys for coming on. It has been a great talk.
We look forward to seeing this fandom grow, and we love what we do, and we love being a part of this community, just everything about it. So yeah, definitely thank you for asking us questions and letting us vent about it and tell people how we feel and what we think. We really appreciate your time.
Yeah, this was fun.
All right. Well, thank you guys very much. And that was our interview with Saberspark and Paleo. So right now we'll head out into the weather report for this week. To start things off, we have an interview done by Total Media Bridge with Amy Keating-Rogers, obviously one of the writers of the show, and this one actually goes through both Friendship is Magic and her new show that she's working on, the Care Bears. So, that's been kind of a hot topic recently, so if you want to check out that interview, the link for that is in the show notes.
And we have another interview, this time Final Draft interviewed Tabitha St. Germain for Everfree Radio, the voice of Rarity and Princess Luna. So definitely check that out, one of their longer hour-long interviews. So it's pretty good. There's a lot of stuff in there and a decent amount of laughs as well. So you can check the link to that in the show notes.
This week on Stay Brony, my friends, which is the podcast done by Jessica Katz, the manliest brony in the world, he interviewed Lee Tokar, the voice of the Sea Serpent and Snips. And if you haven't ever seen an interview with Lee Tokar, he is incredibly fun to listen to, and so that is definitely worth a listen. The link to that is in the show notes.
And we have some less than awesome news from Fighting is Magic. It turns out that there has been an actual outdated alpha build that has been released by one of their QA team. They haven't figured out who. They basically posted up a press release addressing this whole situation. It came off a lot of people thought it came off a little bit harsh, and they actually posted another press release to clear some stuff up. They're still working on the game, and they're still excited to work on the game. But because of the leaked alpha build, they're going to have less to show. They had actually built up a buffer for stuff to actually show on their website and generally give people an idea of what they're working on. And most of that was actually in the alpha build. So they might not have new updates for a while, but they're still working on the game and they're still excited to do it. You can see links to both of those press releases in the show notes.
Next thing on the list is something that's extremely cool. Pixel Kitties apparently posted up on her Twitter something that she found at a Walmart near her, and she went out and bought some pony toys, and the Walmart was giving out a free map of Equestria and the season 2 character picture, cast picture, when you bought the pony stuff. And this is all official from the hub, and it's extremely cool. So definitely go and check those two pictures out. Those are in the show notes.
And we have yet more convention news this week. Buck, the UK Brony convention, has actually released a promo video. Everfree Northwest has announced Hot Diggity Demon, the guy behind the .mov videos, will actually be attending. And it is now actually sold out. We also have the PH PonyCon, the Philippines convention, releasing a little bit of information as well about what can happen, where to buy tickets. It looks like it's going to be February 16th in 2013. And we also have some more news out of Galacon. They have actually signed up for the G Plus events. And anyone with a smartphone or anything like that can actually upload photos to the G Plus event. And they're holding a little mini contest for it to give a prize out to the best photo. You can see a link to all this news in the show notes.
Last thing we've got to talk about is some interviews on Celestia Radio. Sleepless Brony was interviewed earlier this week, and tomorrow they've actually got two really cool interviews. They're going to be interviewing Brony Fanfare, the convention down in Texas, which will actually be announcing their guest of honor during the interview. So definitely check that out if you want to know who's going to be there. And the creators of Welcome to Ponyville, Philly Games, will be there as well. And that'll be going on. The first one will be at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, and the Philly Games interview will be at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. So go and check that out on Celestia Radio tonight. Link for that is in the show notes. So with that, we'll head into the PMTV segment for the week, starting off with the videos. First of all, the Hub actually brought out a new commercial that featured the Adventure Ponies game. That was a pretty big hit when it came out at Comic-Con, and so the game is actually labeled as Hub's Game of the Week, and they brought out a commercial with Pinkie Pie playing the game. So that one's pretty funny. My Little Investigations recently turned 1 year old. They've been working on that game for a year now, and the Equestrian Dreamers team put out a special video for that with a little bit of information as well as some interviews with the people working there, so definitely check that out. Silk AMV brought out a PMV for all you aspiring animators out there. He talked about how to get the ponies to lip sync to anything that you want, and posted a lip sync tutorial. So if that is something that interests you, definitely go and check that out. One of the really cool music videos that popped up this week is a song by Mando Pony called Picture Perfect Pony, and this one has been stirring up a lot of attention because the animation for it is nearly show quality, if not just as good as the show. And the song is pretty good as well. So definitely check that out as well. The Doctor Who's Adventure team has put out a new video. This one is called The Search. It's apparently supposed to be a birthday present for the leader of the team, Squeak. And that one's pretty good as well, with a lot of really good voice acting. So check that out. And finally, we have a new video from Silly Philly Studios, which is actually an advertisement for the My Favorite Pony contest done by We Love Fine. And it's really funny, and it explains about the contest and going to We Love Fine and voting for that contest as well. The link for all of these videos are in the show notes.
And that brings us to the music section. First off, we have Mando Pony has released part 3 in his The Shadow Bolt series. And of course, it's awesome. Definitely check it out. We also have a song from Peak Freak called Going Astray. The song itself is wonderful, but he actually released a little bit of news with it. This is apparently the last song he's gonna do in this rock style music for a while, since he has an artist exclusivity contract. But he is actually going to continue making music. It's just going to be a different genre. So we'll have to. I'm actually kind of excited to see what Peak Freak comes out with. And next we have actually 2 songs from someone going by the name Pink Lotus. Username on YouTube is Megaphoric. They're both more or less just vocal only songs that kind of get like a chorus, like an individual chorus vibe from them, and they're both wonderful songs. Her voice is absolutely fantastic, and they're definitely worth checking out. And finally, we actually had 5 albums released. They were Sonic Blitz from Tuner Symphon, The Royal Wedding from Silverhound, I'm So Sorry from Cat's Millionaire, Randy Newman Presents from Brony Mike, and Celestial from M. Palante, if I'm saying that correctly. And you can see links to all of these in the show notes. And that brings us to our casting call. Our casting call for this week is actually from a group called Dynamic Productions. They are going to take the story Prince of Equestria and turn it into an audiobook. They are actually looking for voice actors right now, and it looks like they have a significant number of voices that they actually need. They do have quite a few roles filled, but it looks like there is a lot there's just a lot of, I guess, background ponies and things like that in there as well. So they're definitely needing some, voice actors there. Especially, it looks like they need a lot of males as well. So if you're a male and are finding it hard to find voice acting work, this would probably be a pretty good chance for you. You can see the link to that in the show notes.
And we'll head on into the fanfic section for this week as well. This week I got something that's not necessarily brand new, but something that I found that really stuck out because it's a different take on the Royal Wedding finale. And I've talked about Reharmonized Ponies before, which is supposed to be the aftermath of the Discord incident. This fanfic is called Post-Nuptials, and this is supposed to be the aftermath of the Royal Wedding incident and the Changelings. Basically, the main six, besides Twilight, are all feeling pretty bad that Twilight saw this entire thing coming and they completely ignored her. And so there's a whole bunch of emotional things that go on in this fanfic, and it's definitely worth checking out. This is by DarthLink22, and you can find that on FinFiction in the show notes.
And that brings us to our flashback section. First up, our video is the Ballad of the Brony documentary by Saberspark, which we talked a little bit about it in the interview, but if you haven't ever watched it, it's just very well done. An excellent take on, it's an excellent take on just how the Brony fandom started, as well as the history of My Little Pony in general, and it's definitely worth a look. And for music, we have Sunshine and Celery Stalks from Pinkie Pie Swear, which is always a favorite. I've probably heard the song so many times I can't even count. I've heard it basically everywhere. Everywhere you go, you can hear the song. And you can check both those out in the show notes.
And as for the fanfic for the flashback segment, we have the infamous Past Sins by Penstroke. And it's a fairly long story, about 22 chapters or so, and the chapters are pretty long. And it's extremely well done, and has a little bit of controversy with it as well. But if you like stories that are a little bit dark, then this is definitely one for you. And you can check that out in the show notes as well. So with that, that'll be the end of the lightning round for this week. Be sure to tune in next week for the interview with Rob Pickerman, and we'll see you next time.
The evergreen forest just ain't natural. The plants grow, animals care for themselves, and the clouds move all on their own. The evergreen forest!
You're doomed.